And finally, I turn to privacy. Many new constitutions explicitly recognize and protect a right to personal privacy. The federal constitution lacks a specific privacy clause. Nonetheless, our Supreme Court has held that other constitutional rights, such as freedom from unreasonable search and seizure, presuppose as a private, individual sphere a refuge of self that cannot arbitrarily be invaded by government. Yet the same court has allowed the government to spy on Americans on an unprecedented scale. Edward Snowden and Bradley Manning have left no doubt about the extent of domestic surveillance. This is not old-school cloak and dagger spying. To raise reconnaissance is vast, impersonal, random, and save for the work of renegades like Snowden and Manning, opaque and beyond the reach of accountability. Much of it has been made possible by law enacted in the wake of the terrorist attack of 9/11. And Professor Balkan of Yale Law School has studied the deep architecture of government cyber spying. He notes that the same technological infrastructure that brings us endless new ways of communicating across physical barriers is the very technology, servers and networks and domain name registers and electronic payment systems that the government uses to spy on and regulate the dissemination of ideas. The result is a system of pervasive, collusive surveillance, lacking all transparency and accountability. I know from my own searing experience what happens to a community, to an individual living in a world where no communication can be assumed to be private. Not one's diary, not one's conversations with friends, not an innocent question asked of a teacher, not a sermon delivered from the pulpit. Whether the overseer is a man with binoculars at the crowded funeral of a popular political reformer, or a software program counting keystrokes as you Facebook the mundane events of your day, the effect on the target of the surveillance is soul-crushing. We are social animals. We grow through expressing ourselves to others. We live for those moments of connection. To be continually self-censoring, continually separating one's thoughts from one's words, worried that to speak the truth is to invite real danger, that is the death of the spirit. And for the community, that can be the death of hope. The massive, barely perceptible assault by the government on the right to privacy is perhaps the greatest threat to freedom of the press and free speech our country has ever known. 9/11 caused a recalibration of the trade-offs between privacy and security in this country, and the balance we struck is not, I conclude, compatible with a free people living in an open society.